So, if you're a small business owner, there's a good chance that you probably don't have a handle around sales and marketing. In this video, I want to break down how do you tie sales and marketing together to build a long-term sustainable way of getting new business, getting new customers. At this point, I've worked with thousands, well, not thousands, but at this point, I've worked with almost 1,000 businesses. And one of the things I see that they struggle with is how to leverage sales and marketing together to get new customers, to generate new business. But before I jump into that, if this video inspires you or anybody that you associate with, please hit the like and subscribe button, and feel free to share this with anybody in your circle. I'm going to cover 5 things that's going to help your business align its sales and marketing strategy, especially as a small business owner. And these are things that I see a lot of companies just look over, they skim over, they don't spend a lot of time on this. And some of them don't spend time on this at all. But these 5 things are components that all large companies get. They understand why these 5 major areas are so important in order to scale the sales and marketing effort of a business. So if you are a small business owner, stick around to the end of the video so you can get all 5 of these different components. So number 1 is understanding the difference between sales and marketing. A lot of times when I talk to business owners, they don't have a clear definition of how to separate the two. And it's critical because there's different functions for both sides. Sales is going to be more of the end of the funnel, the end of the journey, meaning those contacts, those people that you're interacting with at that point are familiar with your brand. They have some kind of connection to you that has been established. The goal of the marketing side is to build that recognition, to build a bit of a reputation, to make sure that when your salesperson gets on the phone with them, they are somewhat familiar with who you are or a little bit about what you do, and that makes a salesperson's job a lot easier. What I see a lot of companies do that are common mistakes for small and medium-sized businesses is they may purchase a list and start to just call those contacts immediately, doing cold calling, or hire an agency to help with that. Or another thing they may do is completely rely on digital efforts to get people to buy from them or close deals. And that's where the disconnect is at. So I'm going to take a step back and let's separate the two. When you think about marketing, the whole goal of marketing is, again, to get recognition. So if a marketing company or marketing team has done a really good job, that means when this lead gets passed off to your salesperson, they have some familiarity with who you are, or at least your brand, or some of the ideas around what you do. That means that you've shown up long enough where you can rise above the noise, and they can maybe say, oh yeah, I remember you from somewhere, or I remember that person, or I remember a little bit about the PDF that you may have shared. That's your whole goal, is you're trying to get them familiar with what you do, who you are, and why does it matter to them, and part of doing that is educating them, being a trusted advisor, whether that's directly or indirectly through the content that they consume, that they get from you. So those are the things that you want to think about if you focus on marketing. On the sales side, the sales, it's almost like a relay race. The marketing has done their job, and now the salesperson takes that baton and he finishes the race. He reaches out to those contacts. He builds that relationship further, more to a one-on-one type scenario where that salesperson can connect with that particular contact based on the history of that relationship, where it started, and they can personalize the experience more. So that goal of the salesperson is to sit down with that prospect, learn about their specific needs, figure out where the gaps are at, and see if the solution that you guys offer will fill those gaps, and then solve the problem. Get that client, that contact to sign up for whatever the service or offer or product that you give to your particular audience. So those are the things that you want to think about when you separate the two. Sales is very focused on reaching out, engaging with people, building those relationships and drive them to a close. Marketing is about building some familiarity with your audience so they kind of know who you are and they have a sense of what you do in a way of how you make their life easier, add more value to their life. So now that we got that out of the way, let's cover the remaining 4 pillars. So number 2 is creating a shared vision. It's critical for your sales to understand what the goal of the marketing is, and it's critical for the marketing to understand what the sales is trying to do. Both sides need to be clear of each other's intentions, and they need to understand what is the big picture, what's the end goal of the entire collaboration. When you have things aligned in that form and fashion, then you can get results. You're able to build a cohesive strategy of how you're going to push things forward. But the key is being clear on the shared vision, the shared outcome of what both the sales and marketing team is planning to accomplish. So number 3, this is how the marketing team gets involved, is a lead generation strategy. There's a ton of ways that you can generate leads, whether you're going to buy or acquire lists, or you're going to source from databases, or you are going to run ads, or organically build social media. There needs to be a solid strategy for, regardless of whatever you do, there needs to be a solid strategy where you can collect contacts over time, so you can start to engage, build the relationships, and evolve those relationships to the point where they are familiar with you, they know who you are, and from there, your salespeople can eventually reach out to them and start to engage, build that relationship, turn it into something. So at this point, once you have developed the lead generation strategy, this lead generation strategy should take it from the moment that you are acquiring those contacts to developing those relationships where they're familiar with your brand, and there should be some kind of handoff, meaning at a certain stage in that contact's life cycle, they are warmed up to the point where you feel confident that if you pass it over to the salesperson or the sales team, they're going to be able to do something with it. You should not be sending over leads that are premature, that you don't feel that they are familiar with your brand. Now, with this component, every company is different, so you're going to have to do a lot of testing and planning to figure out what is the criteria that determines a warm lead that should be passed over to the sales team. And I won't go into that in detail here. That's something that we definitely can cover later. So that brings me to number 4, is aligning your sales and marketing departments or sales and marketing efforts. I like to look at this as it's a collaborative relationship where sales and marketing feed off of each other. Almost kind of like to set it up kind of like a triangle. So you think about the efforts that the marketing team has to build relationships and build some brand recognition, so they're familiar with who these contacts are, familiar with who you guys are, and at a certain point, based on the criteria that you guys define, then they can pass over to the sales team. Now, when that happens, the goal of the sales team is obviously to close those deals, but a lot of times, more than often, that doesn't happen right away. So it's important for the sales team to report information back to the marketing team and tell them about the experience. How are things happening with those leads? What are the engagements looking like? How long on average is it taking to close a deal? What are the objections that we're running into? And the better the sales team is at being able to document, learn, and pull that information and communicate that back, the more effective the marketing team is going to be able to be, because they can take that information and start to bake it into their marketing efforts. So that's one of the powerful things of being able to tie these 2 departments together. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is just regularly making time where the sales and marketing get to have these conversations. You also have systems where this information gets passed back and forth. And the better you get at that process in itself, the better your sales marketing machine is going to work. So finally, number 5 is measuring success. So this is where all the fun happens. Once you have built out this sales process, you've built out this marketing process, and now you've put together a regular cadence where the sales and marketing team is sharing data, sharing information, and providing feedback to each other in terms of what they need and what they would like to see happen. Now it's time to measure success. Look and see how successful your conversion rates from the initial point of contact with that lead to them being qualified as a lead. Then you look at how long it takes the sales team to be able to close those warm leads. What happens with leads that are no longer engaged and need to be pushed back over to marketing. All that information needs to be collected so you can analyze and see where are your opportunities for improvement. So, when I take a step back, helicopter view, these are the 5 things that, as a business owner, every business, small, medium, or large, need to focus on in order to scale sales and marketing efforts. It's not good enough just to run ads. It's not good enough to just do a bunch of phone calls each day. You have to tie both sides in together to build a robust, cohesive sales and marketing machine. So I hope that you guys liked this video, and if you did, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe button. Share this with anybody that you think it will add value to. And also, by the way, we do have a quiz at the bottom. If you're struggling with email marketing and you want to figure out if you're moving in the right direction, take the quiz. It'll give you some feedback on what you can improve and things that you can change. So I will see you guys on the next video.